My crazy sister thinks that one of my twin babies is the reincarnation of her deceased baby, and my mother tried to convince me to give her one of my daughters. So, my husband and I ran away from everyone to keep them safe. I recently gave birth to twins and I had kept this a secret from my family to surprise them. But a month before my delivery, my sister's son tragically passed away due to sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS, and my family mourned the baby's loss. When I gave birth, my whole family visited me, except for my sister and her wife, which I understood since they were still grieving. Soon, word got out that I had given birth to twins, and my sister visited us with her in-laws. Her mother-in-law immediately said that God had sent another baby for my sister, claiming that one of my twins was the reincarnation of her lost child. But I firmly said that both babies were mine. They held my twins and looked at each other, convinced that one of them was indeed the baby they had lost, but my husband quickly took our babies and kicked them out of the house. Later that day, my mother visited me and insisted that I should give one of my twins to my sister because she was grieving. But I refused and told her they were my daughters. The next morning we saw on the security camera that my sister's mother-in-law was in front of our door at 3 a.m., praying, which gave me chills. We warned them to leave us alone. Every day for a week, we found a dead bird torn open on our porch, and a red stain appeared on the sides of our house. At that moment my husband and I knew we needed to leave. My husband called the police, but they said they couldn't do anything as it could just be a prank, and the red stain on the wall and door was identified as animal remains. The police offered to file a restraining order once we found out who was responsible. My husband was sure of who it was after reviewing the security camera footage, but I asked him not to do anything since it was my sister's in-laws, and maybe talking to them would solve the problem. But I was wrong. After her mother-in-law's visit, I told my sister about her strange behavior that frightened us, and I don't know if my sister said anything, but her mother-in-law kept coming back exactly at 3 a.m. to pray on our porch, whispering while bowing her head. Then my sister told me that I shouldn't deprive her of having my daughters since she had lost a son, and that I should feel bad for her. My sister had always been the favorite child and always got everything she wanted, and now, for the first time, things were not in her favor. After my sister terrorized me every day by sending thousands of messages and emails, one morning, we found another dead bird on the porch, torn open as if someone had done it intentionally, and this continued for a week. I called my sister and told her that if her mother-in-law came back, I would call the police. My sister never responded. A few days later, all of us, including my twins and my husband, started to feel very sick, and I felt that someone had done something against us. I suspected it was my sister's mother-in-law. My mother came to stay with us to help, as we were so sick. Additionally, my husband suffered a car accident where someone rear-ended him on the highway, destroying our car. Fortunately, he was not seriously hurt. In a second accident, we were lucky because our daughters were in the back seat, but thanks to my husband's quick reflexes, he managed to avoid a car on the right, which collided with another in front of us, causing 2 deaths. One day I let my mother visit to help with household chores. That same night, my husband came home from work and woke me up, showing me the security camera footage. While I was resting, my mother had let my sister and her husband into our house. My sister then took one of the twins, cradled her, even breastfed her, and they took family photos with my baby. I was alarmed and furious and I didn't hesitate to request a restraining order against my sister, her husband, and my mother. Not only that, but we also discovered that my mother had put a sedative in my soup, and when my husband took out the trash, he found the box, which explained why I had been unconscious for 8 hours. I started to feel really scared, as they were doing everything to get my daughter. So my husband decided we needed to move away and go somewhere else. Follow and comment for part 2.